morning, League fans. Better late than never. A bit later than our usual program on a Monday, but at least we're here. And today we're going to be discussing a Super League match played yesterday in London. It was Leigh 32, London 12. But around midway through the second half, it was 12-all. So it was a game that London perhaps could have, got a bit closer anyway. Probably Gareth O'Brien was the difference between the teams. He had a blinder for the Leopards. So after the break, the first voice you're going to hear is from the centre for Leigh, Zach Hardiker, and I asked him whether the game was a little bit too close for comfort. But that's after the break. So just remember that question, because that's what the question he'll be answering when you hear from Zach Hardiker.
The last 4 or 5 weeks, London have been playing really well. So credit to them, mate. The minute really stop-start game. I don't think we started off as well as we did last weck at the Magic. So that made it a bit of a harder game than it probably could have been. But 20 odd points to 12. I think we're a bit disappointed with the performance overall, but in the hindsight of things, it's 2 points. Got a massive game against Warrington next week, and we're striving for that top 6 and maybe top 4 if results go our way. So it's great to be down in London. The facilities are fantastic, the stadium's great. The fighting tooth and nail for each other, which is brilliant to see. I watched the game last week. I thought they played really well, and like I say, the performance probably weren't the best, but to get the 2 points, pleasing.
Mate, your goal kicking, you fixed that at half time?
Yeah, mate. Last week I didn't practice once, and then I didn't miss, and then this week I practiced a few, and the wind here were awful. One at times it was blowing left, so I aimed it to the left, and halfway through my kick it moved to the right. So
don't practice.
I think that's the way going forward. But yeah, they worked quite on point. Luckily, I didn't need the 2 points, but and then towards the end it was gone underneath the stick, so it made it a bit easier. But towards the back end of the year, them 2 points will count, so I'll nail them.
And mate, finally, just from where you are now to 4, that would be a great effort, wouldn't it? I mean, have you done your maths? You kind of
It's hard
do you do it individually, or does Lamb?
No, it's hard not to. I think we was 1 from 9 at the start of the year. We had a load of injuries. I think with the last 15 games we're second in the table if games went the last 15 games. So on form and paper we're one of the informed teams, and that just shows we've got those bodies back. We're playing with confidence, and we're really confident that if we get in the top 6 we can beat anyone on the day. Like I say, there's a few games that we need probably to go our way. But
4 would be good, wouldn't it? Home.
Fourth would be absolutely fantastic. And like I say, I think if we won every game, I think we'd finish 4th. So off back of that, it's just up to us to turn out week in, week out and get the 2 points. Like I say, today we're a bit stop and starty. Like I say, credit to London. Now it's a short turnaround. We've got Warrington, which is going to be an absolutely huge game. They're wanting to finish top, and I think if we beat them, there's a chance that we could be in the top 6 after 2 games. It's all about us, mate. Train hard every week, like we've been doing the last 2 months, and try and get the 2 points. And like I say, we weren't pretty today, but we got the victory.
Leigh 32, London 12, and Mike Eccles, the coach of the Broncos. He was asked at the start of his media conference, as you would expect, what he thought went wrong.
We got what we deserved in the end. The disrespect we showed to building the game when we got into good positions and field. I thought our pack were absolutely outstanding. Our pack were phenomenal out there today. I don't think not many win the physical battle against Leigh. Leigh have been winning or losing. They tend to win the middle of the field. I thought we were absolutely outstanding. Reece Kennedy today was... not seen many performances like that. He was absolutely phenomenal. But it's the similar messages to Warrington in just our game management, our game maturity, real lack of maturity out there today. What we do after soaking up pressure, how do our sets look like in terms of high percentage, low risk, and we're putting big plays on trying to score and turning the ball over cheaply. We turned the ball over at least twice on the first play. And 2 or 3 other times on play 2 or play 3 in good ball, and eventually that pressure just told of our inability to build enough pressure.
Leigh moving to within 1 point of the top 6 with that 32-12 win at Cherry Red Record Stadium on Sunday. But I asked Coach Adrian Lamb how he felt when the scores were tied at 12-all midway through the second half.
A bit nervous, stressed, but that's just part of the game, really. What I loved about that though was that we defended our line quite physically and we had determination there and resilience, and when the game mattered the most, we stepped up and got it done, and in the end, run away with it, which is probably a DNA of the club of what we love, being in the game at half time and then running away with it towards the end. So just pleased that we've got the 2 points and we stay in the hunt.
Have you, obviously you've done your maths, so what does the picture look like and for various results? What do you think you can do? Yeah, look,
I've looked at it 1,000 times and I don't want to look at it any more later. It's not changing in the sense of I can't do anything about it apart from, we've discussed it as a team as well 2 months ago, and I think we're 7 out of 8 now, which is pretty good. And a better part of the season was a difficult start. I think 1 out of 8 at the start. Now we've reversed that towards the back end of the season. So what we are in control of is that 80-minute performance every week, and we've got a massive game next week for the club and for us as a group, collectively as a group, against Warrington, and we'll just look at that in the immediate future and make sure we stay, laser focused on that.
With the scores tied in the second half, Jack Campagnolo, the 5'8" for London, he just took his eyes off the ball for a second and spilt it, and they needed no further invitation, Leigh Leopards, and they really finished with a flourish, scoring 20 unanswered points. I asked Coach Mike Eccles whether that would have made a big difference or whether he thought that Leigh were always going to finish strongly.
No, I think if we took that game deeper, very similar to Warrington, if we would have been within arm's reach late on, I think we could have won the game. But there was, off the top of my head, I can't even remember the point you're talking about. There was that many that we were really frustrated with. And then when it broke down, we'll just throw a kick in there, just see if that works. It was just madness, really. I don't know. I'd have to watch it back. I know exactly now, in all the heat of the moment, exactly why we lost the game. But in terms of specific moments, I'm not sure.
A big in, as the kids say today, for Leigh next week against Warrington will be the former Australian international Matt Moylan. I asked Adrian Lamb if he could run through the injury situation at the Leopards for us.
Yeah, Mulhern just rested today. I think Charnley could have played, but made the decision to rest him. Moylan hopefully back next week. And Olgie Holmes back now as well. So everyone's in the picture next week. So pretty excited about that.
In the end, Mike Eccles, he wasn't happy with his own team. He thought they should have played a lot better. But he was surprisingly lavish in his praise for an opposition that struggled for an hour against the Broncos.
Yeah, and you flash back to Warrington, Maludi in the same corner, play one for scrum, play one. We're letting teams off, time and time again, putting so much effort in. Ultimately we got what we deserved in the end, because they're a good team. Obviously, I think they're a phenomenal team, and no one will want to play them in the playoffs if they make it. Now they've got all the chips on the table.
Thanks for joining us on Good Morning League fans. We'll leave the last word to Adrian Lamb. Bit of a mutual admiration society between him and Mike Eccles. And really has been, I've got to say, the last London Broncos game that I'll attend this year off overseas. To see the way they have developed and to see the work that Mike Eccles and his coaching staff have done. They've come so far since round one. They're giving teams like Warrington and Leigh a run for their money now and beating Hull comfortably. I think it's probably more rewarding sometimes to regularly watch a team that starts the season poor with no expectations than it is to see a team that expects to win the comp or expects to be in amongst the trophies, because you can really see this steep improvement and you can see the players develop individually as well. So it's been quite rewarding to watch London this year. From my point of view, here's what Adrian Lamb thinks of them.
Awesome. Really, really inspirational. Previewed them during the week, and they didn't do it as much today, but the way that they moved the ball in the last couple of weeks is as good as any team in the competition. So they're doing a really good job down here, and I feel from in the sense of what's ahead, but you can see that they're connected as a group, and they want to take a few more scalps before the season's over. So I hope they do.